to do tonight is kind of just come together with the council and just talk a little bit about some projects that we may want to do and go ahead and get an idea of, where to proceed and how much, we're willing to spend on different projects. As this thing started, we started out, when we redid our bond issue, we added $8 million to it, knowing that we had to pay the downtown revitalization off, which was about $1.6 million. And when we paid the downtown revitalization off, we had some other fees. Actually, what we spent so far is not that much. The biggest thing we spent so far is buying the 2 fire trucks. We've already paid for those. There's an order. That was $576,000. Some studies that we've done, some engineering on a couple of water and sewer projects has already been paid. One thing we bought was some bleachers over at the ball field and some landscaping. Well, actually, what we have to work with is $5.7 million. Now that $5.7 million, that's where we got to determine where we want to spend on multi-purpose building, other improvements at the rec center, water park, if we do a full water park or a part water park or any water park at all. Fire stations who has to be built out of this money. So basically what I kind of want to do is just kind of get with the council and get your thoughts on some of the projects that you want to see us try to do with this money. And just get some feedback from y'all and see, at one time we talked about possibly around $2 million, a little more for the multi-purpose building. At one time we also talked about approximately $2 million for water park improvements. That would be $4 million. Had $1 million. We talked about $1 million for about the fire department, which by the time we build the fire station, we will probably spend around $1 million in the fire department, count the building. Several improvements at the rec we could do. We've done a few. Haven't done everything we want to do. We've done a few. But just kind of now it's time just to figure out, where we want to allocate for different things. And I just welcome any thoughts or feedback or anything that y'all have to help me out with and see.
The lights that were bought for the baseball field,
They're going to come off. They're not on there yet.
so this isn't.
Well, they haven't been finished. We haven't paid for them yet because they're not installed. But that'd be about $70,000 that'll come off of that. You're right. It's not on this list that we have.
And the $550,000 for the water projects.
That's not off yet.
It's not off yet.
That's right. So we actually don't have that much. We already have some committed. The water and sewer, the Spring Street sewer and the 4th Avenue waters, 2 projects has already been voted on. We have we've done awarded the bids. We have tomorrow morning we have a meeting with contractors to get those going. They should be starting the next 2 or 3 weeks. So it's probably more closer to maybe a little over $5 million.
That would have to work with.
Yes, sir. It's not been committed. And that's to do the rest of what we want to do. And we know there's lots of things in every department that needs improvements.
And the money for the Munson Ware the other night, when we voted to go ahead with the next phase, you said that that would come out of the bond money. And best I remember, when we first started this, because the Munson Ware project had started
Yeah.
in this, are you gonna go back and pull all that money that we've spent thus far out of the bond money?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, we don't,
Or
we
just
wouldn't
from
have
this
to.
point forward?
Probably from this point forward. They said, I found out yesterday that the plan that they submitted to ADM to clean the property has been approved. They won't be here at the next meeting, but they'll be here at the first meeting in May. So we should be able to have, first meeting in May, be able to advertise bids for demolition. That'll probably take at least 30 days to get those bids, and then when you award the bids, it could probably take another 60 to 90 days to get it down and cleaned up. So you're looking at 2 or 3 months, probably 3 months before it's completely cleaned up properly. In the meantime, that's what we need to be figuring out, what all we want to do with that property. Is that where we want to build a multi-purpose building? Is that where we want to put any type of ballparks or water pool or
So the phase 3 from the other night's coming out of the bond money, but phase 1 and 2, we're not going back and taking it
I
out?
wouldn't.
Okay,
So you're
what
losing
about
two.
the demolition and all that? Is it gonna come out of the
Well,
bond money
that's
and
a
the
good
cleanup?
question. That's something we can decide together if you want to.
Do
The
we have any
demolition-
idea how much that's gonna cost?
No,
though?
and
So,
that's another thing. At one time, we thought demolition probably would be a wipeout. There's enough salvage to cover all that, but with environmental cleanups, that's not gonna be the case.
It's not
It's
gonna-
not the case, so we can decide, you know, if we want to spend out of general fund or just do this building strictly out of the bond money. It doesn't matter, whatever you do.
but until we have an idea of how much it's gonna cost, we don't have an idea where we're gonna pull the money from.
Right.
Well, we've got it.
We got it.
In the general fund.
We got, yeah. I mean,
This is all-
if cleaning up the building, I would be afraid to guess what that's gonna cost. You know, you still got the 2 ponds to deal with. We don't know what that's gonna cost you,
Right.
because that's gonna be a separate project. Well, all we're getting approved for is being able to get the building down and get it, graded like we need. It could be several more months before we find out what the ponds are gonna cost to get those dealt with.
Well, if we had about 5 more million, we'd be in pretty good shape.
We could be-
And you know, we may get to start some of this stuff and not finish it. We may get to the point of, we may have to prioritize and,
That's what we need to do,
because it takes so
I don't know
much
what we'll get
money.
accomplished tonight, but if we can at least get a head start.
Do
If you give me some ideas about your top priorities at the rec or the top priorities,
do you have any idea how much it's gonna cost to demolish and clean that up?
Just that day, I guess.
You know, I say this to last, you know, I see in the news that they're gonna redo the Empire Building at Birmingham and Thomas
Yeah, I saw
Jefferson
that.
I saw that.
building that's built in 1929, it's got a swimming pool in the lobby,
Yep, I saw that.
pouring water. You can't convince me, or that engineering firm out of Vernon can't convince me that that new part over here can't be salvaged, but they say it can, so but I'll never be convinced of that.
Was it the joists, the steel beams, what was it,
If any building in Birmingham can be saved, this no here is a whole lot nearer than it can be saved. Somebody, the right person, can get a hold of it. But, you know, nothing been mentioned here about paving. If you ride around our somewhere streets over here, it'd knock your front end out of line or make a dent in it. Huh? Well, we got general fund.
How do we put the sod in there?
Yeah, and we've got,
What's the difference,
It's
sod
and
and
paving.
asphalt?
Lifetime of asphalt's about 10 years.
Sod.
That sod,
Sod.
probably 6 months.
First good freeze, it'll be gone.
It should be there for now on.
Yeah, it should be.
But,
and
you
all
know,
this comes back to years of not doing anything, neglect, and we're having, it's all coming in at once, and there's not enough money to go around. I agree with you about the streets. I know there's some that's But, you know, it's that way everywhere, but we're not talking about everywhere, we're just talking about here.
Well, the thing is, we're not gonna do everything we wanna do. We're gonna
No,
have
we're
to pick
not.
out our most important projects,
That's right.
do that, and just not worry.
What did you
There's
find
just no
out
way we can do everything.
about the roof at the rec center?
The roof, we had a bid one time about
Yeah,
$40,000,
yeah,
$50,000.
at one time, that
That's
was
to do
back,
the whole thing. It's,
wasn't
as
that
far as I
several
know,
years
it's not
ago?
leaking now. It probably could be leaking again. It's been patched so many times.
Well, if it ain't leaking now, it may not.
That's what I'm saying. I had-
Say,
No, but all the-
how much is
It's
that?
all rain. I haven't heard the lady say
Yeah.
anything about it, but
Well, I mean, when we met and did the budget, that was one of the things,
It was.
the roof.
it was.
So it got fixed between the budget and now, or
Well, we've had it, we've
it's
had
been
some.
patched?
Didn't that guy go in there and put some stuff in
He
those
did.
cracks and
He
everything?
did.
That may solve the problem.
He did.
They have.
Um,
Is the, I rode around to the back of this is off the subject just a little bit, but around, are they gonna smooth that down on the old pole? And what are we
Still
eventually
filling it
gonna,
in.
still,
like much. Some of it's-
but that'd be smoothed out and,
Oh, yeah.
and what kind of surface will be on top
Whatever
of
we
that?
want to put out there.
And we can use it for,
That could be a project for batting cages or whatever we want to do it.
I said move the equipment down there, so, and get rid of
oh,
the building that's up there on the old tennis
Make it
courts.
look better.
Put all the equipment in the shop down underneath, that way it'd be locked off.
Might be a more secure place to build it.
it's a good idea.
Like building a building down there, a metal building.
Going up under, I mean,
Well, would it hold, would there be enough room for building and storage of the equipment under there?
Probably.
And we've got all those locker rooms, that are just sitting there empty that, we thought one time that would probably be a good storm facility. I had never been in them. You guys have, I'm sure. How deep it is back in there. Is it on both sides of the pole?
Yes.
Is it, and then back in the center also?
Goes all the way back up and under,
Does it?
yeah, beyond the gym.
I don't think, I've been told it probably never would be qualified as a safe room
It
by FEMA.
probably-
You might could use it, but I doubt you'd be, I doubt you'd
Yeah.
ever get it
Well,
approved by
that's-
them, to make it safe. It looks like it could be, it's probably is safer than you think.
Well, personally, I'll just tell you if you're wanting everybody's opinion, personally, I think we need to, concentrate on a civic center type building. And then, I think the tennis courts over here are in such disarray. We've got a lot of kids that wanna do that, and I don't know what we're gonna do about that track over there. But we're working on getting the fire department and that in compliance with, whomever. And for as the pool, right now, it might be just as well to go with some kind of splash pad type deal. I mean, we've got to do what we can do within the amount of money we got. I don't know, but I know we need a multi-purpose building for many, many reasons. And I think it would serve the community, the city, the area in the long run, and I feel like that we could recoup some of our money back with fees, appropriate fees, because we'll have to hire somebody to man it, and that's just my personal opinion. I may have looked over something, but I'm like Tim, we do need to do some work on streets, and I know I'm sure we're planning to, and we've got these water projects started, and what eats you up is a lot of these engineering fees and all of this stuff that's by the wayside that you can't put toward the actual project. It goes toward it, but it's
just part of the expense.
just
Can't
part
do
of the
without it.
expense. No, you can't do without it, certainly. So that's whatever, and to maintain a good balance in the general fund, and to be as frugal as we can, yet move ahead. And like I said, we may not be able to complete all these things we want to, and we've got on our list, but maybe we can get most of them started. So, and I probably have left out something. Some rest of you I know will have other ideas, and that's certainly what we're here to discuss.
just not sure that the $2 million for the
No,
civic center
it's
is
not gonna do
sufficient.
it.
I
$2
mean,
It's not.
million is not
And
going to
that's,
do it.
that's one reason I wanted to meet with y'all, I just
No.
don't think it's gonna be enough.
It's not.
I think it's
I
gonna
decided
be
that.
pushing 2.5 million or more.
I think it's.
Oh, I think it's closer to 3 or 3.
Because look
Depends
at
on
the
how
cost.
you finish it, how
We
you.
wanna get a quality building to begin with.
And that would be,
We don't
if
want
we
something.
spent more there, then we spend less somewhere else, which would be fine. But just,
Just like that, Trish.
you know, instead of doing a
She's mine.
$2 million water park, we may do
She can-
400,000.
Where'd you move? I want them to get you.
And that's why I say, if we could think of the top 5 things we'd like to get accomplished, give them to me, and we'll start working on what it's gonna cost to do those things. You know, top 3 or 4 things you like to see at the rec. This is the best opportunity we had to do stuff at the rec we've had in a long time.
Yes, and it needs it.
We
It
need
needs a lot
ball
of things over
fields.
there.
We need to fix the top lot. We really do need to do tennis courts,
Is there any chance of,
so.
us being able to use any of that property over to industrial park?
Bedford.
I know it's been brought up in the
Yeah.
past.
It's been
But
brought-
at that time, that was the only industrial park we had.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Now we got the other one.
we would have to probably, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
with
we own the
industrial.
property, we probably do what we want, but we need to really go through the industrial board and see
Have
if
a
it's
lesson.
designated for industry and office now, I think. I think they changed the covenants a little bit, so you can get all
To
to
get to
get DHR in there.
What you have in mind? Different.
You could remedy the soccer and the
Yeah.
t-ball fields
Mhm.
pretty easy right over there.
Well, it's been
Without
sitting
much
there,
work.
Yeah,
what,
and that
Tim,
would
since
be
we bought it back in the 90s?
early
I have no
90s.
problem with it, just as long as we can utilize it and
Well, there's still gonna be
benefit the kids.
lots available if
Yeah.
somebody did wanna come in over there.
There's several lots of
And
them.
you could fix those things over there and still, if somebody wanted that property, you wouldn't be out a whole lot to give it up.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
It might be easier to fix as far as, you know,
Land prep and all. Mhm. So that's a good
That's-
idea.
that's
What are you
something we
thinking over there beside the pond?
Well, there's beyond the
Beside the
DHR.
DHR.
How much is on the other side of DHR? There's quite a bit
There's
there.
2 or 3 lots,
Mhm.
pretty good sized lots.
And to the back of where you go in the
Lynn,
cul-de-sac?
you know-
I'd mentioned to the park board about maybe doing an archery park, and that back side of that would be a ideal place
I
for
do.
that.
Sure would.
Because there won't be, you gotta have so much space in behind wherever you have it at, and there's nothing in behind that till you get down to the river, so that would be
Lynn,
a
you know,
perfect place.
you know more than I do about the needs of the ballparks. I mean, your kid's grown, mine's adult, so I'm not involved in it as much, but explain why we're so short of fields. We have like 100, well over 100 T-ballers and not enough place to even practice.
That's sad.
So there is a need for more ball fields. A lot
We've
of
probably
people-
got more teams over there playing than we've ever had in the past. Seems like each year you add on some different age groups or you change it up a little bit, but I think the Dixie Youth this year's had more people, he's got more kids signed up than he's ever had signed up. And then I wanna think Larry said we had 9 T-ball teams,
I think so.
so
About
I mean,
9 or
there's
10
a lot of
each team.
It's a
kids
lot of kids.
playing baseball and T-ball. And it's hard to get them all in a spot to practice. And of course, the T-ball is, all you need is some open spots. You don't need a fence. You just need somewhere where you can throw some bases down and mark a baseline and put your tee down. But the baseball, and the ones older than that, they need a place with a fence. So, and we've only got 3 fields. Of course, we're just now getting one of them, getting the lights put up.
Right.
So really and truly, they've only got 2 fields that they can practice on after dark.
And we got growing pains, that's a good thing,
There's
you know.
with our access to the interstate, could be a lot of weekend tournaments if we had the facilities.
And therefore revenue brought into the city.
Right.
And plus-
And I've been over, the girls softball's got, last year they had a USSSA tournament, and it was just, I think they have 4 age groups, They hosted 2 of them. And, I had some numbers on it, it's probably at the house, but you wouldn't believe the amount of people that was over there all weekend. And their teams, several of them stayed at the hotels over here, because they were there Friday and
And had to
Saturday.
eat.
Yeah. But I went over there and you thought you was, those little pop-up tents, that's all you could see. They had them stuck up everywhere.
Well, and there's the
Well,
hideout
that's just as much
property
a part
too.
of the
that-
economic development as anything. It's
Yeah,
just,
it
you know,
certainly is.
Mamas and daddies and grandma and grandpa's gonna go watch their kids play.
Kids, they're gonna go everywhere. They'll travel.
Far and near.
One thing over there right now with the complex and the baseball fields is parking. Now that that house is gone, we need to get a good idea to build a parking lot right there.
Right.
The other thing that we had talked about was moving the playground down at the bottom up there. It's not in a good place. It's
No,
dangerous.
it's not. It's not in a good
You
place.
got kids running in and out between those cars,
Mhm.
and there's a little bridge there to go across where the baseball field's at, and it's just a dangerous spot.
It is.
Is that a lot of people using that playground at the time? Their
There's
older
people,
brothers, sisters
Yes.
just playing
there's
ball?
people at that
There
playground
is.
all the time.
There is. I've been noticing it.
But there is a lot of use when the ball games are going on.
That's what I'm wondering. You like
Yeah, a lot of them's
big
public.
brothers playing ball and little sisters
Yeah.
over here. Would that be too far away if we moved it to the
I
other
don't
lot?
think so. I mean, you just go across the road
Just
right
cross
there
the
and
road.
go to it. I know a lot of people that's up there with little girl softball, they walk down there to it. I mean, you gotta walk it from that way, and then to come
Well,
back the other
couldn't
way.
the city do a lot of the in-kind work on that?
We can, anything
Or what did you
in-kind
say
will
the
be-
other day about,
We could probably get the parking lot ready, do all the earthwork and get it to where we had somebody come in and like you need to do. I'm not for just going over there and scraping the dirt off and
No.
throwing some hard rock on it. I think it needs to be built up and done right and asphalted and curb and gutter.
I agree.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it right.
But if you're talking about moving the tot lot up there, you're gonna need to move the pavilion. Because how you gonna have a birthday party without a
Well,
tot lot?
Could build another one or something.
Stacy Scott, the bunch that got together and they've been raising money and wanting to put one down there where the playground's at, close to it. I don't know how much they've raised, but they said they would be willing to put that money into putting one up there if we moved it.
Oh, well, that's good.
And by moving it, we can make it handicap accessible, one way or another. If it
Well,
stays
we're
where
gonna have
it's
to work
at,
on it.
that's not, that's gotta be done. We've already committed to
Oh,
getting
yeah.
that, so. Which means a different type of surface, doesn't it?
That pea gravel's got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
And if you could add a couple more pieces of equipment, that down there is already probably 10, 12 years old.
And then the restrooms.
So
Or if we did a splash pad, put it there. So all
Where the,
wherever the tot lot is, wherever the tot lot and the pavilion's gonna be,
yeah,
put the splash pad.
that could be done.
That's really good enough for me. We can look at it.
How much is over there, did you say, two?
I don't remember how many it is. I drew it up, see how it would fit in there. I can move that playground up there and make it just a little bigger and put a pavilion in and put a parking lot the size of the one on the other side of the complex in what's there.
How many cars is that park? How many cars is that park, I think?
Oh, I can't remember.
100 spots?
It's an acre.
Oh, well, it'd be a lot more than that.
It parks there.
See if you
But
can
you
squeeze
put
it.
one in there, put one big enough to match the other side.
See if you can squeeze a splash pad in. Because I mean, really, why, if you're gonna have a birthday party, you want splash pads, you want the tot
Playground.
lot, you want the pavilion, you want everything all together. You don't want part of it here and then, oh, we gotta walk across the street and let's go down here and let's do that.
That'd be an idea.
Well, could you take some, how much
Across the
land is
street?
north of it that we could take in? How far is it before you get to the walking track? It's a good bit of it.
It's a good bit on that side.
I'm thinking up part of that when I did my drawing,
Okay.
so.
is needed over there at the rec? Now, we're talking about the tennis
Well,
courts,
the
top.
soccer fields, right now, in the past, probably 4 or 5 years, how long we've been doing soccer, they use the softball fields for the soccer fields. And they've even been putting it out there they've been trying to do some girls softball in the fall, and they've got the goals out there.
Yeah.
So it's messed up with the schools.
It runs in together,
Yeah.
the two
Needs to be
leagues.
And it's, you know, if we could get some designated soccer fields, then it wouldn't take a whole lot of room. And as far as the soccer fields and the t-ball fields, you could utilize the same land for both. You just have to mark them off different, they're in different seasons.
Well, why don't we talk to the industrial board? I mean, let's
The old
run it
Charles
by them
Trim
and
Field
see.
used a lot still.
That's where we're playing,
The Charles Trim
That's where y'all
Field is,
What grade's that, or age?
14 and under.
I could fit the 3 soccer fields in that area. But we got a 13, 14-year-old baseball team, that's the only field they can use because of the length of the fence. So you would have to figure out what you were gonna do with them if you wanted to do away with the field and put the soccer fields and the t-ball fields over there. And as far as the track, they had mentioned that, somebody mentioned wanting to try to get it to where we could host track meets again. To do that, you gotta have an 8-lane track. That is only 6. There's not enough room to add 2 more lanes
Not with that building there now and
without doing some
the
kind of
right of way.
else. I don't know that there's enough. The right of way's pretty close to where it's at now.
I would think so.
So 2 lanes would be another, what is this dash, probably 3 or 4
It's more than that, probably 6. It's right there, 3-foot lanes.
Okay.
But it's got to be 8 lanes before you can compete. Has that changed in the last
Yes.
while?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think
Goodness.
Winfield may be completely redoing theirs, either building a new one or adding on theirs. When they had theirs, is not very old. And it's 100 and something
When
thousand.
this one was built, we had the only one around here. We hosted the county and the WAC every year.
I remember that.
And I don't know that that one could be resurfaced without completely going down to the, what I've been told. It's basically starting all the going down to the base. So, you know, if that was an option for us.
Do you think more people use it for walking than or the nature trail? There's a.
I
you
think
walk
more
the nature
people
trail.
walk the block than they do anything.
The block, yeah, they do.
They park there at the track, but they go around
Right.
the block.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's kind of boring to
Thought
walk
about
around
that.
that track.
It's
before
very
that comes.
So it's the city track on county land.
Yes, it's
It
on.
was at least for 99 years. No, or something.
So if we did anything, it'd be pretty much something the city to.
Well,
I
something I
doubt-
might want to look at
Last
is to get with Bevel. They're talking about bringing back some of their sports programs.
All of it? That's
And
good.
if they were to bring back, and, you know, they did a track here out of Hamilton County. But if that comes back, you might want to look at partnering with them or something, and trying to find a place to build a new one.
There's not room down there that I see.
I don't
At
think
Bevel?
there is
I don't believe so.
without,
Unless they've got some land down there that I don't see.
it'd be nice to, if you could put it down there, cause they got all
It
that new
would.
parking and everything back there in the back corner.
Looks nice. Tim, you got a miracle?
We've got a lot of money, but it don't go far. The projects are so expensive, we just can only do so much, and I'm not saying just go on a spending spree, because we're not gonna do that. The projects we do, I think has been worthwhile, it's been something we need.
Well,
We just don't have a one shot at making this spin right, you know.
that other water park that we went down to from the original, I really don't see building that and doing that.
I don't either anymore.
The
There's
thing
just
is,
too many
you-
things that are pressing to.
They told us from the beginning that every few years you'd have to add something to it to keep, people
It's the
coming.
interest.
Well, you're not gonna keep,
so I don't think you'll ever,
the only people that
They're gonna
gonna
make
come
you-
to that smaller one is people around here. You're not gonna bring anybody from
No.
out of town in because
Probably not.
they got the same thing at Red Bay, the same thing at Gewin, the same, or even more at Fayette. So they're not gonna come to Hamilton to go to that. But if you went and built the big one, yeah, you probably get people to come in, but you're not gonna get them to come into
I
that.
think maybe 5 years ago we might have, could have done that, but got ahead of them, but.
That's the reason I didn't want to borrow this $8 million.
Did you ever, when Karen Wheaton came and she gave her little spiel and we were gonna meet with her in depth and listen to what she had proposed, did you ever meet with her after that night she came?
well, the 40-something acres over there, we've talked about, having the water park there, the building there, walking trails there, nature trails and the river access, so many multiple things you can do.
And at one time fields, you know. with,
Yeah. There's
fire
still plenty of
field
land to do.
complex.
All those things can still be done there, just
It's
not
gonna
be
take-
done the next year and a half or two.
Cause that land is
And
deep.
the grant we applied for the river access, still ongoing. We don't know if we're gonna get it or not, but it hadn't been, it's not dead, it's just hasn't been funded, so still a good possibility of getting that grant. I think it was up to $50,000, and I think we may have to match 50. It's about a $100,000 project,
Well,
and that could still happen, which I think would still be good to have
I
that.
hope so.
People gonna use that river, they're already using it now.
I personally don't see putting a splash pad or a swimming pool or
At
baseball
Munson.
fields or tennis courts or anything like that at Munson Ware. I think it needs
I
to
believe it'd
be,
be better
it needs
situated.
to be designated not for things like that. But I do think if you squeeze the splash pad in by the pot lot, that'd be a plus.
That'll happen.
But again, a lot's gonna come back to how much it's gonna take to tear it down and clean it up. I mean, if it's gonna
That's
take
gonna-
$2 million
that's
to fix it,
It's
We
not
don't-
gonna cost that much.
I don't think it'd be, I'm guessing $100,000.
Would they pay to tear that down to you?
The Munson Ware building
It
again.
wasn't much.
Wasn't much.
I don't know.
If this didn't have the environmental problems, it would be, that's what's costing us.
Your ponds are gonna be what you think.
The ponds,
That's right.
and that's gonna be,
It's
I think you're right.
we don't know when that's gonna be.
Couple $100,000.
We're still waiting
on the
on
building or
that.
the farms.
And we're gonna get approval to do the
The whole
building.
thing, you
The
think?
ponds could be 6 months
I
from now.
hope you're right.
Because that's the thing, we just don't
Whoever
know.
gets that building's gonna tear it down and salvage it.
They are.
Yeah.
It's got,
Um, Just a couple issues on the property, but the building does have asbestos. That's gonna be included in the demolition. They'll take that out when they do it.
But it was not a lot.
the estimate on it was like
30-something thousand. That was- There's a lot of salvage in it, but if the price of steel is not good, or whatever salvageable,
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
not right now.
at the time, when we first come in, there was people knocking the door down and tear it down for free.
Mhm.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah, even when in it, last administration, yeah.
But
We had several here.
the
from
price of
South
steel,
Alabama.
Tony, may be,
It's about half what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
About 5 cents.
and that could affect the cost of demolition, unless they're able to just store it somewhere till it goes back up, take it down and store it, and some people do that. You gotta have a lot of money to sit on that for a while.
I asked Kurt the other night when y'all left to go to, I guess to an executive session, had been discussed, about demolition, and that's what I asked him, what he thought the cost would be. And he said ballpark probably $50,000 would be his just guesstimate. And I asked him about, we've talked along the way about potentially salvaging the bricks to use for the Riverwalk. And he said, that would have to be part of, whatever was bid out, but we'd have to make a decision. But I guess technically y'all would have to make a decision, but, one of those is like,
That would be
a lot of bricks in that facility.
Oh, yes.
That we could do a lot of the sidewalks and river walks and things like that.
You just stored it on site somewhere for,
Mhm.
if it took 8 months, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You still have all that there.
So, but that was the number that he gave me.
Now, were they planning on taking that water tank down? Have we heard any
No, I
mention
don't think so.
of that during this
Going
whole
closer to
thing?
42?
Yeah, that they put in for Tennessee River
Right,
that
no,
never
I
did
don't
use.
think so. That never was.
Okay, well,
Right.
didn't recall hearing any mention.
Yeah.
Sort of in the way with,
And another thing, if I can interject just quickly on monies, I made a couple of calls, because I had asked Scott Hunt about, potential grants for civic center building, whatever you wanna call it, multi-purpose building. And my question to Scott was, could we use the bond money or a portion of the bond money to secure matching grants? And he said, and in his opinion, that yes, we could. So a couple of the calls that I have made regarding a facility, State Arts Council, and discussing it with them, and then also with the National Endowment for the Arts, the monies that they had available was basically on the front end as far as design. So that would be something, and each one had $100,000 available. So just, just for something to think about as you begin planning, that maybe we, and I've left a message for Nathan Willingham to call me back, but I haven't been able to catch anything, but as far as potential matching grants.
Greg, that's just kind of format or idea about what we got left, and that's not a real true. It's pretty close, what we got. Some more is done committed. Come out of that 5.7. Tony, you and I met the other day with Brother Duncan and, the Feeling of the Arts Council about what size building. We was talking maybe 100 by 200, 20,000.
We
No,
roughly
it
had,
needs more than that.
yeah, we roughly had 20,000, and for y'all that came to the meeting this year, we had about 20,000 feet in use there. And that allowed us to do, what was 62 artists, 65?
That's 20,000.
Yeah, we had 70.
20,000 square foot of space. So you actually need more than that with storage, bathrooms.
Right.
So if we
That
were-
was floor space.
that's just floor space for,
That's allowing no
And that's,
growth.
that's right, that's not allowing room to grow, and we hope to grow.
right.
Yeah, originally we've been looking at a 25,000 foot exhibition hall, and then however many square feet, depending on what else we wanted to do, as far as concessions and bathrooms, and if you want to be able to put stages or something in there, you got to have a place to store them when they're not in use. If you want to put bleachers, then it eats up on your space. The rough estimate, we're somewhere around $90 to $120 a square foot for construction cost. It was what I've been told in order to meet the federal leads guidelines.
$100 a square foot, 20,000 is $2 million. So that's why I don't think $2 million is gonna touch it.
no.
No.
It's
Okay.
gonna,
Well, like
we
you
may
said,
not be able to build a Taj Mahal, but if we build one big enough, they can be years later.
In-house.
Build where you can add on to it.
Build where you can add on to it, or finish part of it later, or get the building.
Well, we talked about stage and audio and all that kind of stuff, seats and all. We may just have to do it in steps. We may
Phase
just have
one,
to get
phase
the
two,
building
yeah.
and concentrate on that, and then that other hopefully will will come later, and it will if we can get that establishment or that building there.
We'd be glad, more than happy to, approach if we wanted to have any of us involved in, approaching any of the, elected officials about what, if there's, I don't know if there's any federal or state monies that'd be available to help us with that.
It won't hurt to ask.
Oh, well, that money that they got, that's down for the county,
I don't know.
down there Pike.
The Ag Center.
Ag Center.
One time that was still in the bank somewhere, wasn't
$100,000.
How much?
100,000.
I thought it was a million.
That was,
it? Yeah, I thought it was more than 100 now.
I thought it was a lot
it
of
was,
that.
whatever it was, it's set aside, I think, for the study.
Well, the set aside was around $3 million for that project,
Yeah,
and then it went away.
Well, whose hands is that in? County?
I
No,
don't
it
think
was,
they had-
it never came here, it was
Oh,
allocated to the state.
I see.
The only money that was out, that really was allocated, that was just for the study to start the thing. And that was what, I mean, the commission, I think the commission gave $100,000 for it, and maybe they put it in the bank, and it may have grown a little bit, but it ain't, I don't think it's $1 million, $3 million, anything like that.
What I remember is they had $3 million
allocated for the project.
allocated for the project.
Well, the project would cost, but they weren't even near, they still weren't even in the study phase. I think they were going to, the group would have to approve a study, in other words, and they were not. It was just $100,000 given for the project to use whenever, and that, it was never used, it's just still in the bank.
I thought that's what I remembered.
It's not gonna be available. Greg, we talked a little bit about some improvements at the rec, maybe the parking lot over there where the high tower property was. Maybe suggesting if we do a splash pad, put it there too, and the top lot, if we can figure out enough room to do all that there. Lynn talked about possibly approaching the industrial board, Bedford Industrial Board, and seeing about using some designated land for T-ball and soccer. We know we're getting lights on the upper field. We've got growing pains, because your boys play T-ball now, and you see it firsthand, they have no place to even practice. Got probably 10
There's
teams.
a lot of kids playing all
And they're everywhere.
age groups, that's unreal.
And it's a good
Good
problem to
problem.
have, but it's not, sometimes there's not enough fields. And y'all know more than I do, how often are those fields used? I know league doesn't last that long, but they're used, land, like, they play summer and spring and
Well,
some
they-
fall ball,
they-
don't they?
Yeah, the younger ones play fall ball, so
Pretty much 6 months at least.
they start getting over there on them in end of February. And then they start using them until
October probably.
yeah, around October.
So they're not like 2 or 3 months a year, they're used quite a bit.
Well, that's just like I said about the soccer and the T-ball. You can utilize the same land for both. There's T-ball's over 4 schools out and soccer's in the fall. So, I mean, you wouldn't have to have separate soccer fields and separate T-ball fields. I think we're gonna build that building, it needs to be able to play basketball in it too.
I mentioned that the other day, I think, the need for another gym is as much as another softball field.
Well, we're gonna,
T-ball.
if you're gonna spend that much money, you need to get some use out of it. And so, Jerry Brown's 2 or 3 days a week.
This is not just about Jerry
Oh, I
Brown.
know that, but I'm
Yeah.
saying though, you're gonna have, a lot of times there ain't gonna be nothing over there. So, I mean, if you could use it for basketball,
If
I
you
mean,
really-
we're having to go play at the elementary school now because there's no
When
place to
goals
sit.
that fall down, we're
Well, you could get goals that fold down, or you could get the ones that roll around. I mean, there's options.
Would you have to have the floor like a gym floor? Or
You could
do
get a,
something else?
you could get a floor and
Drop
take
it
it up
in.
and set it down.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be one that stays there all the time.
Right.
You wouldn't want the floor to be up during, when, like Jerry Brown was
Right.
around, you wouldn't want the floor.
No.
You'd want-
That's why you're
you'd
gonna
want
have to
take
have
it up.
a bigger building for storage.
Storage.
Yeah.
Remove tables and.
Bleachers
floors
and
Bleachers and,
chairs, yeah.
so, you know, a 20,000 square foot space is just for showroom, but then you're gonna have another at least 10 to 15,000 more.
Well, the key to
For
me
bathrooms,
is,
concessions, if you had concessions and storage.
is having a facility, a true multi-purpose facility that you can use year-round.
That's right.
That we can have something going in it, whether it's seminars, conferences, ball,
Reunions.
festivals, yeah.
That's what we got in
exactly.
mind, we
I-
talked
we
about
met today.
partitions, to partition off sections of it at a
Yeah.
time and things going on. at one
Absolutely.
time.
Cause that's where you're gonna make your money
Sure.
back.
Car
Is have, you've gotta have something going in
You
it
gotta
all
have
the time.
something, 'cause
Door
I'm telling
show.
you, Bevel's doesn't make money, it loses money.
Yeah.
We had a meeting today, we're having our class reunion. We're having to meet in a church because that's the only facility in Hamilton. We're meeting in the Methodist, having our reunion in the Methodist church. The only facility in Hamilton large enough, because we were a very large class. And,
Decoration.
oh, there's things like that that you would have going in there
Graduation.
if you had a place.
Yeah.
Bevel's over theirs. Yeah, yeah, but
Their
and-
lighting's horrible, so that's why a lot of times people.
And the Nutcracker thing, that's, you know.
yeah.
So we're limited seating in there at Bevel because the fire code, we can only,
Well, they got their own facility
I
as
just
well.
see where it being challenging. People organizing, you know, the civic center being probably 5, 6 jobs, you know, made there.
Yeah.
And then the more community having things to do, I mean, more people.
I think it'd be
Yeah, the,
wise.
yeah, those, the
A lot.
gymnastic, whatever they call them these days, I mean, that's a big thing now, we've got a lot of kids locally that,
Can get
yeah,
bigger.
promote,
you could
yeah.
have, if you had a place, you could have meets there, like whatever they have, the exhibitions or whatever, competitions.
Because when we were in the Colby building, the cheerleaders had one section over there that they could practice. And
There's so many things that you go into.
It's unlimited, it's just you've gotta get a facility that's well-rounded enough.
Well, see, we do think, we've been hashing it around too about a permanent place for a farmer's market. We need
yeah,
access to that building out there for other things.
yeah.
And also, the senior center, they've outgrown this little small place over there. And we need, an area for them to grow because
A true multi-purpose building, you could accommodate
Tear
All
all
that.
all that. Yeah. I mean, Jerry Brown is once a year. Well, we're talking about a building that can be used year-round for a lot of other
That's like
things.
it is, that's all tied in together.
So they're gonna push it in.
I'm sure they will.
Well, what Lynn said earlier on the, like the tournaments and all, you have a certain number of weekends that Karen Wheaton's gonna have functions in Hamilton. If you can pick up a few with some of these sports events, we start bringing people in here, we can pick up a few more in a multi-purpose building, you might be able to get to critical mass where you could have more, hotels rooms here, more dining, more shopping. If you can get the people here, those other things will come along and follow. But we need to be able to, you know, lay out a calendar every year and say, we're gonna have events, you know, 16, 20, 24 weeks, whatever. And, you know, try and get that so that we've got stuff lined up. And somebody will have to work on it and it'll be a job. But if you can do that, then,
This coming weekend there's gonna be a USSSA tournament here in Hamilton, basketball. It'll be the third one they've had in about the last month and a half.
so, yeah, we can pull,
Where they bring in kids from all over Florence.
See, if we had a facility, then we could,
Volleyball
They've
tournaments,
been
I mean,
playing
in high
on-
schools.
They play over here.
They playing in 2 gyms over here, having to walk back and forth.
Yeah,
because I'd also like to see, I don't know how everybody feels about it, but, you know, another possibility would be to set aside a few acres over there, but, you know, we do get a multi-purpose building and possibly put a, you know, lease it out to a hotel or something, so you could have it, you know, maybe support some conferences and stuff. But, I mean, that's not immediate, that would be down the road, but in our planning things, you know, know, you could always set aside some land if it ever came about.
If you have big events and you get tourists coming, you're not having to worry about increasing your infrastructure. You get
Right.
the tourists already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, if you
Draw,
can,
draw, draw.
Well, we need events.
we got that strength now,
You're going to
we can
have
build on it.
people paying to use that thing. You can't
Oh,
just-
yeah, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
have somebody
That's the
man
problem.
it and then set a
We
fee.
got all kind of events that don't cost much, but they don't, we'll have to have a way of charging to recoup the cost of, just the heat and cool, it's gonna cost us that
Oh,
much.
yeah.
Everybody that uses it would have to pay a fee.
Yeah.
That's just, that'd just be a
More
given.
employees.
We can't do that.
Because you're gonna have to look at
Hey.
who's gonna run it, who's gonna,
That's it.
Insurance,
Work on facilities.
It's
We come out.
more than just building a building,
charge.
the maintenance, upkeep, managing it.
Once we go into our, we've had that discussion, once we
and
go
my
into
thoughts are it
our-
should not fall under the rec department.
I don't
It
think
would be,
I don't think
No.
so.
it would be,
No.
Not right now.
all its own.
No way.
It would, I mean, it would serve as a division all its own.
You're gonna have to have somebody in a civic center that's worked in that environment.
I agree.
And I don't know that we have anybody in Hamilton that's qualified for that, but
I agree with that. I mean,
Send them to school.
no,
It's
you
more
need
than
somebody with
just
experience. Yeah,
There is.
Yeah.
I'm like 5 million.
It's
I
more
did have
than
a
just
plan.
land.
that can go and get concerts.
It's gone.
You can do it all on just on that one building, but that's why we can't, that's why we gotta figure out things you can do in each, make improvements in each department as much as possible. So you can spend the whole thing on the building,
Exactly. That's
each,
just
just like
what we're
that,
talking
that's,
If
that's
you're
not an option.
involving all these groups, can there be different ways of getting money, you know, like if you had a sports program that was gonna be in there, something the schools could apply for to go in on this building? You know, all these different groups y'all are talking about, there should be some money that you should
You're
get.
not gonna get anything out of school.
No.
Off the sheriff there.
No, I meant the bonds or something that they would have, from the government somehow or other, for these different groups to use this building. Or go to building the building.
Like grants or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word.
If you can get something in there that attracts a certain number of people to Hamilton, which I don't know what that number needs to be, then I'd say we'd want to let them use the building for a very low cost.
Oh, yeah.
If they can
Yeah,
bring
the
some,
offset of
yeah,
what they would spend,
yeah.
you know.
So you don't need to be free,
No.
but it needs to be at a very reasonable cost to bring,
Cover the
to bring people
electricity,
into
the.
Hamilton,
You
yeah.
could also put a
Utilities.
track in there, couldn't you? If it was large enough?
Well, you could, I remember in the mall in Jasper, people would walk indoors. I mean, I guess people could walk inside the parameters.
They do over in
If it's
Winfield,
big
in
enough.
that, workout center, they've got a walking track.
Sort of.
in, yeah, over
Yeah.
park.
Well, only consideration there is, like he said, the mayor said earlier, is it's gonna cost a fair amount to heat and cool that building.
Yeah,
So you may not wanna run it 7 days a week, you may only wanna heat and cool it during
It
functions.
would not be a perfect
During pay
situation.
functions, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the mall's gonna be open all the time
Yeah,
right.
and heat and cooled,
exactly.
just a consideration.
You can have set up for people who just the areas you can use.
Depends on how it will be done. Quadrants.
Yeah.
You could show multiple units.
If somebody wanna have a reunion in here, we'll need a third building.
Yeah,
Recommend you want
dividers.
heat and cool third
Right.
building. If you can get your design right,
I don't know if you could do that.
you can. You just need to do it up front.
People gonna pay to do those things.
Yeah, our family reunions in May, and I think some of them run it over into June. We fight over the civic center now to try to get
Rec center.
a rec center to try
Yeah, but
to get a place to have them.
You're gonna be looking at a lot more of a charge than what you paid at the rec center.
Yeah. But
Or
I
much
think
nicer.
there's some large families that
What do
they had to
pay
meet
for
in
it?
June for it.
I think that's why buildings doesn't do all that good cost what they charge.
That building is terribly inefficient. I mean,
It's like $600 to rent that thing.
They increased
Well,
the, they
it's
increased it
hard
because
to
of the utilities and all the
Not
things.
nowhere near 600.
They really increased.
So what do you wanna start getting, I can get somebody to look at, getting the prices on some of these things. Tennis court. What, I mean, what's some of the things you want me to start with first? Y'all just give me a list of your top 3 or 4 things.
I think we need to take care of the first stuff that we got before we go building anything.
You're gonna have to build a fire station on these things first, not me. I won't speak for myself, I'll let everybody else. I don't think you need no Taj Mahal over there, like I told you before we took office. I think you'll just build a bay over there to park 2 vehicles in for protection and build it where you can add on to it later. I don't see we're spending a bunch of money. Main thing is just get protection over there for people over insurance, in my opinion, and if it's needed later on, add to it.
What are you talking about, over the fire,
Wherever
fire station, is that what you're talking about?
on the east side of town.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that the plan that we have is the done deal, correct?
No.
Because when I questioned it, she said that she was fixing to go into some other stage and it
She
was
is
too
in
late
other
to,
stage.
it was too late to back up.
No, it ain't too late.
Because,
We ain't voted on nothing.
Well,
and we didn't, that night we voted for her to be the architect, but we did not agree on the plan. And you asked for more plans, but then the next time when she was here, you weren't here, and I asked about the plans, and she said that she was going into the next stage and it was too late to go back. So, is that price a done deal?
unless we change it, it is, but I mean, we haven't, she's not got bids on anything. She's still working on moving forward, trying to get everything done so she can, start construction in June, so.
I forgot what she called the next stage in the plans. She,
I just
maybe
too
the
much.
technical drawings. Was that what she called it?
Greg, tell them about what you saw, that we were talking about several months ago, that over in Tupelo, that was pretty much,
Me and
On a
Lynn,
lower
we
scale.
looked one up on the internet, but there's one over there near the, it's near the mall. If you were coming from like, it's kind of where the tornado came through there. And it, Lynn and I pulled it up on that Google map deal, and it's not really, I don't know what it cost, I mean, it's nice, but I don't know, I don't know what it would've cost to build it, but I know it's not real big.
It has the high
but
roof
it's
and
got-
slope.
yeah.
It's
did it house 2 trucks?
Yeah.
House 2 trucks?
But it's
and
got a second floor.
It's got a second
It's
floor.
got
Yeah, it does,
What do you think that was less than what we had?
Probably it's gonna be about the same.
yeah.
You
that's what
think it's
I would
about
think
the
it's probably about the same. I mean, it looks good, but it don't take up a whole lot of room.
See, they got their bedrooms and all that kind of stuff up in the upstairs.
Right.
We wouldn't need that over there.
No. I mean, nobody, there won't be manned in this 24/7, will they?
But the
That's what I
bedrooms and
thought.
everything are in there.
For each use, his office.
And the kitchen will have
See,
to
we
be.
don't need no training over there, if it's in rooms, stuff like that, that
A
don't
what?
need training rooms, that don't need to be in nothing like that. You won't
They
be doing
don't define,
training,
they
you need
don't
to do
have-
that over here.
You ain't got a place over
They
there.
said they didn't have any place over here.
Pull the truck out, use the bay. Well, you ain't got,
I don't know how much room it takes.
you ain't got-
Well, they should, that fire station over there is just like 75% of everything else that's been built around here. It's been thrown together. And, I mean, that new gym,
all we
and I can go on and on. I mean, stuff's just been thrown together and it looks like crap,
It's not serving the purpose.
It's not serving to me what it should have done.
So that's why we're so interested in doing this all-purpose building or whatever right to begin with.
But I'm like Tim, I don't know that we need, I don't know. I mean,
How much was that?
I don't think anybody's ever gonna be able, I mean, in my opinion, we're probably not ever gonna man that station.
You could eventually, probably not for a while,
We'll have to hire some more firemen.
But that was
Well, if
$576,
they're not, why
half a
don't they
million
change
dollars,
some shifts?
$500,000, 576, over $500,000.
576 for the fire trucks. The building's
Oh, no, the
about-
fire
about
trucks, I mean.
350, 400.
Where?
I think the ceiling was like $491, wasn't it?
I don't have
It
it
seemed like it
with
was
me,
about
y'all.
$1 million, both of them together, so you may be right.
I think it's pretty close.
About 400
About close to
For both.
half a million
for
for
both, yeah,
both.
for both, I think.
Well, it's
Around 900.
576 on the fire trucks
Around
then.
900 for both, I think.
The plans are out there, I wrote my car.
So that would take you to 4 million, wouldn't it? Or those on,
Yeah.
What are you counting it?
576 was in there.
was the
Fire truck.
fire truck, well, the fire trucks are on here.
Mm-hmm.
The 419's what's left if we allocated $1 million.
Mhm.
When you take, or close to that, because this number right here isn't correct, but taking out the 2 fire trucks and the architect fees, that's what it would leave if there was $1 million allocated.
You're talking about just about 419 left.
Close, well, it's
Mhm.
less than that, but close to it. And the 2 trucks that we ordered, one of them's equipped and one of them's not equipped, or we're gonna have to have them,
Still got to quit one, I
we still
think.
got to equip one, but I don't remember how much that is. I don't have that written down.
It's not,
Were they gonna use some of the
yeah,
things they
they are,
had?
but we still have to quit one, I think. The 2 trucks are the same, it's just one. I believe I'm correct on that. They should be here about probably October. Somewhere around there.
Seems to me like you're gonna have to, if you're gonna do the thing at the rec center, you're gonna have to get some numbers on those. Once you get that, take that out of what's there, and then what you got left, if you're not gonna do a pool, that's what you got for a building.
That's about right. Well,
Okay.
we gotta make some kind of immediate decision on this fire station thing. If we're not completely happy with that, then we've gotta relook that or something, seems. I mean,
And would some of that depend on what the fire rating people want?
well, I would think, this is, and I'm sure this is, I doubt you'd cut much cost.
Well, what we need to do is get quotes on, Lynn working on the parking lot, about what that would cost, size.
125,
Sir,
about 125,000.
125?
Yeah. That's if you get somebody else to do it.
How much is left of getting everything handicap accessible? Is all that, it's not taken care of up at the Charles Trail Field?
No,
But is
and that's
it
what
down at the-
I'm fixing to draw up something for that. We're fixing to fix a concession and bathrooms up there, and then you're going to have to pour your sidewalks. You still got that to do. You still got to, that
That's gotta
lot,
be
if
done.
playground, if it's not moved, it's gotta be done. And then we still gotta do a bathroom at the baseball field.
So you're talking about,
Yes, sir.
Have you tried co-op, like 3 counties together? You have a lot more power in Washington. I know because I formed a co-op like that, Curtar, which had 5 counties. We get just about anything we want.
As far as,
There hasn't been anything like, you're talking about 2 or 3 counties here going in together,
Yes,
co-oping?
go together as a co-op.
Yeah.
And have representatives.
Right.
And they'll go to Washington for you.
does that know what the Z3 is?
I got $8.5 million grant for water and sewer in that little town I lived in. Mayor there in 20 years, in the town of Stem, North Carolina. And it was named after John Stem, the founder. And it's about, I'm gonna say 6,000 people now. There was 233 people when I moved there.
Wow.
And that was about 20 years ago. But I spent that time searching for grants and so forth. And the best thing to do is to get together 2 or 3 counties, because you have a lot more voice in Washington. And when you start asking for grants, they start listening.
That would probably be good. Thing we run into is each city's trying to do our own, you know, our projects for Hamilton, and Winfield does their
I
projects
know,
for
I
Winfield.
know, but the
I
way
know
to
what
build
you're saying.
this place.
Yes.
Well, we should say that they're supposed to be helping us with some of that.
I built a town from 233 up to about 6,000.
They're not coming to grants for stuff like this all the time.
Probably not, probably up to the,
What was the cost of the tennis court?
yeah.
I'm gonna say 75, but it may be more like 50.
Are you talking about lights and the
Yeah.
surface and the,
What, the guy that looked at this that does tennis courts, he done the walking track at Winfield, his name's Duffy Bowles from Huntsville. And they have a company that does that. He said that would need to be completely redone, the services. You'd have to just go down to the dirt and start all over. His suggestion was maybe even trying to move that tennis court away from that bank, find a better spot, get about 100, about 200 spot. That's
to
it.
the paddock?
New
So you're
fence,
thinking
new
50 to
lights.
75,000?
I think I've got it over somewhere. I figured the top light might be 20,000, I don't know. You moved it all, you resurfaced the bottom.
Get this thing.
Thank you, sir, for coming.
See you, Mayor Jack.
Appreciate
See
it.
you.
What about, is everything else is handicapped over at the rec center except what you just said, the Charles Trim, the top line, and the bathroom at the baseball field? The building's good, everything else has been taken care of.
I think the building's all right.
At the complex.
You're talking about.
I'm talking
rec
about the
building.
actual rec building.
Oh,
It's good.
I don't know
Well-
if those bathrooms actually need to, they're all like they may.
I'm not sure.
I would think they may.
The bathrooms, I think, have been changed over there to be handicap, aren't they?
Well, I've seen signs over there. Do any of you know? Have you been over there to see? Oh, it's something we need to go over there and look at.
I remember there being handicap bathrooms in there.
Pardon?
I remember there being handicap bathrooms.
I believe there are.
Yeah, there's probably some handicap stall in there, but I don't know that the path to get in there is what it should be. Those bathrooms are small.
Yeah.
Now, we'd still need the bleachers at the old softball field.
There's not any up there, are there?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Is that
You
up?
need to
Is
change
that-
those bleachers out at the complex too.
So we're looking at, I was just trying to make a list of all the
Handicap.
handicap stuff that we're gonna have to take care of,
Right.
that's already.
Yeah.
Just leave the concrete ones up at Charles Tree? Are they acceptable?
Yeah,
Are you talking about that field behind Charles Brown?
yeah, I think you can fall through those.
You follow that?
Oh, I mean, the ones behind Charles Brown, that's the ones she's talking about, that need to be where we used to play softball.
Yeah, those are softball field.
Yeah, oh,
There's
that's
not
it, that's
anything
all.
in there.
Okay.
And at the major league field.
So, you're looking at,
I think bleachers, you have to go out of town, they're so expensive. Unless you could.
what people do, bring their lawn chairs.
Well, what we spent on the baseball field, they don't have to buy that big bleachers on all of them.
Right.
You remember what that was?
I think they're smaller set, which would probably be enough to set on each side and cost you about $20,000 a field.
Those over at the thing were $23,875.
That's two different sets, one of them was bigger than the other.
Yeah, I think the small set was 9,000, which would be, if you put one on each side, that's 18.
Seats approximately how many?
Probably
50,
100,
100?
180 total.
Oh, really? Oh,
I think they were 90.
Yeah.
I think the small one
About
was
90
90.
each.
I'd have to go back and look, I can't remember.
all right, where are we now? Tennis courts, cot pot, handicap, accessible bathrooms. Now, did that include, the lighting too with that tennis court?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, for A-Dam, yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, Kurt called yesterday, so he spoke to Jimmy. They approved their proposal, which was good.
Yeah, he's sort of suspected they would, but you never know with them.
Still some unknowns about demolition cost, environmental cost, and how much we can spend there to best supply toward the building. You know, if we're not gonna do the water park and scale it down, there'll be money there to be able to use somewhere else toward the building.
I think doing that water park would be like what Greg said, it'd just be throwing something up to have it done. I think that's,
Just a little splash pad thing, but like you, I think it needs to be incorporated with it.
And they don't charge for splash pads, you rent them out, you make your money by renting parties. The one in Muscle Shoals is very nice, but it's just free, kids just come use it. And they rent parties, you might rent parties from 5 to 7, 7 to 9 or something like that, but during the day, there's just no charge. I think there's a donation box, you wanna give $1 or $2. But, you know, there's just no way of charging $3 or $4 for kids to come out there and get under a mushroom, get wet, you know. So, the splash pad would be basically free to use unless you rent it for parties or something. Donations, you might have, you know, he's
Now,
gonna
that wouldn't
charge.
require any kind of.
Wouldn't be a lot of,
Or anything, would it?
you know, a lot of, be some maintenance, but not somebody have to be there all the time.
Okay.
Are we dead set weight on doing the civic center at the Muscle Marsh side? I'm talking about that particular spot.
I would think that'd be a good spot near the river if we did any other developments with the river, you know, I think it'd be.
Did you have something else in mind?
Well, me and Lynn rode over to, the Bedford Park, it's nice over there, and I mean, I know, in my opinion, if anything industrial comes, it's going to Fulton Bridge, it's not going up there. And I just think there's a lot of land, and I don't know that we could even do it, but there's a lot of
We own
spots up
land.
there that would be, there's some beautiful spots we could,
There-
I'm looking at it from a standpoint of getting it started versus getting all that crap tore down, and I mean,
Not fearful?
you know, I mean, I don't know if that'd even work, but
Is there a time limit on this bond money?
No. it could run into the next administration, you know, it's, as long as we,
Yeah, I don't think we need to get in too big a hurry
That's-
to get everything.
right, we don't have to try to get everything done before we get out of here,
No,
you
right.
know, while we're still in office, but, certainly,
But it's gonna take a while.
It's gonna
So months
take a
aware
while.
is at a stage
There
where
are
we
some
can
pretty
do it.
areas
that's
over
right.
there.
I like that
I'd even had
idea.
put to me
That
about
is another possibility.
renovating the recreation
That can
center,
still be
building
used for other
a
things.
big building onto it and renovating it. And
I mean, a lot of people don't, we let Kylie go over there and drive one day when she was kinda learning how to drive, and you don't realize how pretty it is. I'm
It
telling you,
is,
it's beautiful.
it is
There's a lot of
nice.
people go walk.
Mhm.
I don't know how much land we have over there, but,
There's several lots.
I mean, we're looking, I mean, that Musselwhite building may not be tore down for a year. I mean,
Time it,
Well,
that's
it may
exactly
be,
right.
it's be quicker than that, but it could be several months.
But I'm wondering, is it gonna be ready for next year for the Jed Brown Arts Festival? I see no way.
We're not counting on that.
Don't expect it.
I
Two
don't
on the
see-
right, one on the left.
Anyway, the
And they are
ADM has
under
held
the
us up a
control
lot,
of the industrial board.
but where you
I don't
can't
think they're
fight
under the
them.
control of the industrial.
All that is part of it.
did you ever hear about from Jerry?
I thought Blake was on. Did Larry go over and fix that where they could practice on it? You told me.
Oh, yeah, totally, yes.
The holding ponds, when they do the renovation on that, are they gonna, is it required they asphalt them?
Yes.
They're gonna
They
seal it with
said
Some
something
type of
permanent.
cement-like stuff they got.
I don't know what it is. Did you all remember
We said the only
What he
thing you
said?
can build on is parking.
Parking.
Yes.
parking lots? The only
That's
thing
what I
they
was
go-
wondering,
Yeah.
if, as part of that, do you get a lot of your cost of your parking lot for free? I mean, not for free, well, but
I don't know.
But stuff we have to do
I don't know
anyway.
that they mean that you have to put a parking lot there, but if
That's
you're
all.
gonna build anything, the only thing you put is a parking lot.
But would it be less expensive to build a parking lot on top of them than it would on Virgin side?
It wouldn't matter, it'd be, wherever you built it's gonna be the same cost.
Cause you've got road in there.
I mean, they're gonna put on there what they need to put to seal it, and then you'll put the parking lot on top of it.
Yeah, what I'm saying, like if you go to some other site, you might have to actually move dirt or something.
You'll have to.
Yeah, so it might, that's just wondering.
It might even actually be a little cheaper. By the time you do that and sell it off, because we may have good enough. money that you don't have to.
That's what I was wondering, if
Much
it'd
of
be
a
less.
build up as you
Cause
would
it's
some
on
of
the
that.
side on the parking lot.
I know there's a good bit of property on the other side of that, DHR building, and then it goes back pretty deep
That's
from
where
that
they're
cul-de-sac.
practicing T-ball, I think.
Yeah.
Is it?
Across, there's a road turns inside the DHR and
Yeah.
that cul-de-sac at the end. That plans across that road from the DHR for the
I'd
practice.
see a map of that. We used to, I know we've got one around here somewhere on the
If you'll
Bedford.
hold on, I'll show you.
Well, all right, put it up there.
But I was just thinking, if we ended up, if we could do something like that.
Might save a lot of environmental costs right
something
now, and
like
we
that,
could
and then,
use
I mean, I'm still
more.
for tearing the building
Okay.
down, I mean,
All environmental's gotta be done anyway,
right.
Well, that's true.
so,
Yeah, that's,
Well,
no matter what.
the building is a safety
You
hazard
could
to
change
begin with.
location.
well, that's true too, so.
I just wondering if it's cheaper to build a parking lot there or at a new place. May not be easy for us. Cause I haven't seen what all they got to do.
I don't think it'll be more, should be comparable, but it could also be cheaper.
Parking for how many people? 300 cars?
Well, we figured that parking was the biggest thing this year at the
Yeah,
festival.
And how much land is that?
But I thought it
taking?
went fine. I mean, it was, I know,
I
yeah,
just-
I didn't work it, but I know
So
you're
if you had-
worn out.
Challenging, we'll
Yeah.
put it to you that. Parking.
We had,
Yeah.
5 acres.
I wanna say we had parking for about 250 out there this year. We're about a half mile down.
But did that did, Tony, that didn't count Fulton Bridge and that didn't count, but it
I'm
had,
talking, I'm going, we had about 250 on the road nowhere.
yeah.
And then you had other parking in addition.
On Saturday, Fulton Bridge parking lot was full.
120.
So who would decide? I mean,
That's why
Well,
we
I
were
mean,
sitting there totaling everything
For
up.
us on there, you're probably looking at, what you need to decide is for how many people we put in that building.
Yeah.
And then we'll base our parking based on that. So whatever size building you build, then you'll build parking. I would guess 2 to 3 acres.
But being that close to the 78, we pulled a lot of out-of-state people that were passing and they wanted to know what was going on, so they pulled in.
Well,
Yeah.
widen that road, you know, they're widening the road, getting the next bridge there, and access to Martinsville, better than access to Muncie, actually.
The tricky part there is, when that consultant came in on the water part, asked him about where you, your best location. And his response to me was, because people are coming here anyway, if they're coming to that event anyway, then you wanna bring them through town, because you may pick up more money when they stop and buy gas or whatever.
Restaurants, shopping, yeah.
So his suggestion was, put it
In
in town,
town.
not a later.
Yeah.
There's DHR, that's Buccaneer.
Yeah.
And you've got two,
Okay,
two blocks
see,
right there, and there's
right
four
there.
right in there.
Makes sense to
Right
me.
next to Sweeney.
But now,
Maybe should you like I was under it.
if you put it in the Bevel Industrial Park, you have the same thing. You're still-
Well, I mean, they,
They
it's under, all under the city, but they, it's
Under
kind
the
of.
city, but it's under,
That
it's
used
part
to
of
be
that.
all in the businesses, didn't it?
I'm just saying that they're not gonna ever need all that.
There, it's not a
Well, they
road.
would-
Look how many years, we bought it when we were on first time in the nineties, early nineties.
Part of it.
We bought it from
Development
the
of the city from the.
The Bedfords then, and that was one of the stipulations,
There's
you
more
remember?
land beside it
It's
today.
called Bedford Park.
Is it? Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
There's another.
And then
Track
our
beside it.
concern was getting the bridge, you know, and now, after all these years, that's coming to fruition, so, you know, it just takes time, so much time and so much money.
But out there, Muncie area,
But I'm so weak.
whatever you use, that's gonna be
Signs of the
area.
college.
Well, I
One mile
keep
acre for
thinking, that I'm
some.
wondering if 42 would not have to be widened or have a turning lane,
I said our artists.
if you had big events and, I
Yeah,
don't
there's-
Oh, there'll be some work that'll
getting
have
it
to
out
be
there
done.
is not
We don't get it.
very good. Right there's the aerial.
Standards.
But you know, Mayor, we talked about when we met, when we were meeting with Karen on the series of meetings, you know, one thing we talked about was the development of the, sort of a city plan, basically from the Hamilton House, basically all the way down to the Indian Mounds, you know, and tying everything in together, you know, with the Bevel Complex and, you know, that was one of the things that, you know, we talked about with the, you know, especially with leaning toward the development at the rec center now. You know, we tie all that together with sidewalks, the walking and the biking and the hiking and things like that.
All the way behind Bevel.
All the way behind Bevel, so I'd hate, you know, while I understand it might be simpler to say, well, maybe we could drop a building out at Bedford, I understand that, but I think it's so far off the beaten path, and plus, like I say, when you look at the overall plan for the city, you know, of what we've talked about developing from north to south especially, you know, I think I'd look, I don't know that I would wanna deviate, even though we may have to wait longer.
Yeah.
You know, I think Muncie Ware's your, cause like I say, for development, especially for the future, this may be the only thing that goes in up there in the next 5 years, maybe the only thing in the next 10 years. But you've got that opportunity
Possibly
to
be the
grow,
only thing for a while.
yeah,
But there's the land there to grow.
yeah, exactly.
There's 40 acres over there.
And that could be anchoring a whole complex
Maybe
that
one
you
big
would
ball field.
go into recreational,
Yeah,
field, nature trail, whatever.
yeah,
I mean, why does it seem to me like Bedford's off the beaten path?
it is off the beaten path, I live out there. It's
Hamilton's
just off,
not growing that direction.
it's not, it's more of a residential, the growth is residential more so than commercial or business.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely area out there,
Yeah,
but I guess that was the same idea that was trying to,
Complex or whatever.
yeah,
but it's a nice place.
Yeah.
Yes.
You might
Yeah.
have-
Exactly, that's the,
What'd he say?
Anything you put over.
I'd rather have a five-field ball complex over at Bedford myself versus the Civic Center. I was just looking
I
at it from a
agree.
timeframe standpoint, but
You can still develop
I
that for.
I don't know, I'm just,
You just wanna
that
see
money
something
where
going.
they else going, I guess I'm
It's
tired
just
of
gonna
looking at
cost a
it.
lot of money.
It
That's
is.
so much money.
It was great to inherit that building and land. but it's also
I wonder
expensive.
sometimes.
Very expensive.
I really wonder sometimes. Honestly, I don't know if we've done anything or not.
You can wonder about even taking the office.
I don't know if it's a favor.
Well, like that.
Guys, I ain't got nothing else, I mean, we can sit around talking, I just think we got some things talked about. We don't get a chance often to sit with the councilman talk. We just don't.
We don't.
You know, it's very difficult to be able to sit around the table and talk like you would if you was in your living room.
You gotta come to have a meeting of the minds
It is.
sometimes.
I can meet with council members one or two at a time, but it's hard to get anything done like that. The only time we meet is just kind of just do like we did tonight, just shoot from the hip, talk from the heart, and see if we can come up with something that.
But do you have an informal, all this is informal, but do you have sort of an informal list in your eye, on your pad about what some of the priorities would be, or?
I think those.
But just like Lynn talked about a while ago, we need to take care of some of these, projects like the handicap accessible places and the things that are in such disarray.
And some of that's, even though we're talking about it in here, we put money in the budget to handle some
We
of that.
have.
So I mean, it's
Yeah.
not.
It's not all, might not all be out of
come
the
out
money,
of this.
Right.
but spending a few $100,000 at direct would help so many people.
And so much that
And
we
then
need to
spending
do.
bigger projects, you know, like the Civic Center.
That's what
And
I
That's gonna
really
serve a
want
lot
to
of
get
people
going.
too.
And the fire
And
station.
we need, and the fire station, we need the fire
Pay the
station.
fire bill,
You know,
pay
as
the people to
council,
work in it.
we realize that we're all about the community.
Greg, you'll need
We
to-
are too.
You know, that new building
You know, easily $5 million could be spent on the
Even-
You
Civic
wouldn't
Center.
have to put up
Yeah.
the new,
But
the
realistically,
new,
we can't do it.
whenever
Well,
Lindsay.
you could, but.
We gotta do a little everywhere, you know, so
I
that's
don't
our.
think it'll meet the federal guidelines.
That's the reason for what? It would be,
I
think it would be wise to build
I get called 3 times a day and I got a call every day.
The numbers I went over are.
Pretty sharp, drive back to the house every day and not even stop a year ago.
Yeah, I didn't
Beef went
expect
around,
you
we
to, I'm
won.
telling you, I had been able to.
I mean,
I'm feeling better.
Let me see if I
Air
can.
Well,
turnover,
some
you
ways
got
I'm
to
going
spray
to
shit,
have
you gotta have much better.
gallbladder scan and going down into,
Pavement should
I
be
think you
down.
got better maybe.
maybe.
Fuel costs down, asphalt should be
Never
down.
dreamed.
A little bit.
You don't want to.
They got it up there, I ain't gonna come down off of a lot.
I haven't got
I
one.
had 4 babies and resection.
But it needs to be
and
looked at,
I've
how we
been
get it done cheaper.
3 times.
No, I'm 25 now, it's
Just
100 by 100,
medication
it's 100 by 205.
Cost
Before.
thing.
And we
You
can,
don't.
we can build that
I
building,
know the
that's
cities
what.
that
Yeah.
where it's found
I
buildings
usually
and
have somebody out there.
buildings that I didn't survive as high as sometimes.
Well, you want it to be aesthetically pleasing, but it needs to be functional.
Because the doctor, the farmer commented that the separator works with inflammation that was incorporated. Have you been to our farmer's market? I tell you what, it took the life.
Farmer's market, we could take and put a lean to on that building.
Exactly,
That's
exactly,
what
yes,
we need.
exactly.
That's all.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Like farmer's market, just take, build what we got, put a lean to on it, get the all the other stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, some,
yeah.
Roll up,
I'd
roll
like to
down
see-
doors, yeah.
right.
I'd like to see them
I walked
buses,
in here and I
not have to stay.
And our design it right, do that, and you can, you wanna be able to open up just a little bit, so you can have restroom facilities and stuff. They don't
I had to eat something.
I mean, I'm in total agreement, we need to use it for every single thing we can.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna put that much money in this building, it needs to serve
It needs
as
to
many
catch
interests
everything it can.
in Hamilton that we can do.
Farm market should be there.
See, and that's like our senior center that you were talking about. I mean, I can see that drawing.
They're having, they've went from 18 to 20 to.
They're busting at the same
40
spot.
or more.
40
That's
or
what we're
more.
talking about.
So that's what we
But
need.
that becomes a
They're in-
dedicated
Right
space.
here, I didn't need it.
They don't have any
Yeah,
seats.
see, that's,
Those
you
are-
gotta be careful.
Yeah, you don't, you can't use it for anything else.
Yeah.
So,
We
They're
lose
taking
that
out
space.
about 40,000 a day.
well, I mean, no, it's not a problem, it's just,
It's
that's the
just
way it
gotta be a
is.
fact, it's gotta be factored
Right.
in. that-
They're not.
Yeah, but it's not a space that can be, it's not a multi-purpose space.
No, it's a
It may be good to
dedicated.
have them there, but it's a dedicated space.
Yeah.
Get all these groups together, how much space do you need? And then we'll have them get their monies.
It,
Thank you.
yeah, good luck. Yeah, that right.